What's going on, everybody? Trev Wilson here. Welcome back to the Bourbon Wrench for what might be the last video of 2021. It's the end of the year. You know what that means. Everybody is putting out their video of their favorite bottles of 2021. So that's what we're gonna do today. I have a list of bottles, bourbons, ryes, American whiskeys. Sorry, no Scotch or Irish. Just don't have it. That I got during 2021, that were released during 2021, that I really like. Now I get it, allocation bottles are hard to get. I didn't get that many. Pretty much my list is every allocated or harder to get bottle that I got this year. So I am including a separate list of some store picks that I got during 2021. I kind of found that when I don't get some of these harder to get bottles when I'm out hunting, it's discouraging. So something that I found myself doing a lot more during 2021 is hunting store picks. Going to a store, seeing what bottle they have, what store pick they have. I think it's a fun way to try something new and unique. So that is a separate list in this video. So got a lot of bottles to talk about. So if you're new here, consider hitting the subscribe button. Join us on our 2022 journey. This community is absolutely amazing. We have a lot of fun over on our Patreon community, on our live streams every Friday. There are some absolutely incredible people in this community. I could not have done it without all of you guys. So as 2021 comes to an end, I just want to personally thank every one of you. You guys are friggin' legends. All right, without further ado, we have a lot of whiskey to talk about. Let's get right into it. This first group of bottles are my 2021 specific releases. The first bottle we're gonna talk about, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C921. Now this might not be my whiskey of the year. The C920 probably took the cake for my 2020. This is kind of a bystander this year, but still really good. Of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof batches from this year, I would say this has been my favorite. I've liked it the most, from the neck pour all the way to where it is now. Just like all of the other Elijah Craig batches from this year, I think they really do benefit from being open, getting some air, mellowing out a little bit. This is no exception. It has gotten better as I drink it, so I had to throw it on the list, give it the benefit of the doubt. But some of these other bottles on the list, I definitely have enjoyed more. Moving on, the next bottle on our list, Stag Junior. This is batch 16, the summer 2021 release. Now, typically, I wouldn't put a Stag Junior on my top favorite list. There's just something about that Buffalo Trace cherry note that I don't know if I've just outgrown it or moved past it or whatever. Just typically isn't for me. This batch 16 though is a little oakier than I kind of remember previous Stag Junior batches, and it kind of hides that medicinal cherry note that kind of steers me away from it. Absolutely love it. It kind of reminds me of a better version of batch 14. So if you've had previous batches, I think it's kind of in those neck of the woods. Definitely takes the cake for me now as my personal favorite Stag Junior batch. I haven't been able to get the batch 17 yet. Curious to see how these two compare, but as of right now, what I've tried, the batch 16, absolute hitter. All right, moving on. The next bottles on the list, this is a twofer. Goes to Maker's Mark FAE 01 and Maker's Mark FAE 02. Who would have thunk that I was gonna put some Maker's Mark bottles on my favorite bourbon of the year list? I think both of these bottles kind of do separate things. You know, the FAE 01's a little fruitier, lighter, vanilla side of things, and then the FAE 02, a bit darker, chocolatier, that side of things. If I had to pick between them, I would probably go with the FAE 01 as my favorite, but honestly, I love them both. Here's my favorite thing about the wood finishing series from Maker's Mark, and it's why it's my most anticipated release each year. Maker's doesn't rely on, well, it was sitting in this part of the warehouse for this long and some angels came and sprinkled some dust on it. No, they really capitalize on how different these different wood staves can make a whiskey, and the good thing about it is they can make a lot more of it. It's much easier to obtain. A lot more people can get it. It's way more accessible, and they're really good. Definitely, absolutely loved both of these bottles this year. Moving on to my next favorite of 2021. This kind of also goes as my rye of the year. A Midwinter Nights Dram. This is Act 9. Absolutely incredible. I compared this to my Act 7 that I own. Blows it out of the water to me. Honestly, I think why I like it so much is that the rye notes aren't as strong and prevalent as they were on the Act 7. So yeah, I think this kind of caters a little more to bourbon drinkers. Plus, the port finishing on this really shines through on the Act 9, and it's incredible. I'm a huge sucker for wine finishes, for finishing in anything really. I think it changes whiskey, makes it unique, makes it different. It's a totally different experience. I kind of judge too how much I enjoy something by how much I am drinking it. I'm going through this bottle way faster than I did my Act 7. I've had my Act 7 for 2 years and I still haven't finished it. I have to force myself to stop drinking this. I don't want it to go away. And moving on to the final bottle of whiskeys I got during 2021. This also might be my favorite bottle of 2021. Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery 6. I friggin' love this bottle. It's incredible. I think they nailed the blend on the head. I think they utilized the 17-year-old Dickel that's in here perfectly. I think they learned from Discovery 5. They improved on the Dickel in the blend, and then now you have something that has the characteristics of an aged bourbon without being too dickly. Like I said in the review of this bottle, it's like fall in a glass. It just takes me to changing leaves, flannels, and delicious desserts. I think the proof is perfect. I think the balance of everything in the blend is perfect. This has just been my absolute favorite bottle. So, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, so those were my 2021 specific released bottles. These next bottles are going to be store picks that I got during this past year. I really found myself struggling to get a lot of the yearly releases, the allocated bottles from this year. There were a lot of bottles released in 2021, a lot of bottles I was hunting, everyone was hunting, and for the most part, a lot of them I didn't get. So something I've noticed myself doing over 2021 is hunting store picks. I think it's a really good way to experience something unique, different, and still really, really good. In fact, some of these store picks I've tried, I would put up against a lot of LEs that are out there. Now again, store picks are gonna be different, so your versions of these could be totally different from mine, but I think that's the fun thing about it. I just want this to be a guide, kind of spark your interest in, you don't have to chase the unicorns. Go to a store, see what store picks they have, try as many of them as you can. You can find something that you like, maybe even better. So the first bottle on this list is gonna go to Old Forester Single Barrel. This is the 100 proof edition. I've tried some of the barrel proofs, a little bit too hot, the ones I've tried. I think this is the perfect balance for me. Brown Foreman desserty goodness. It's absolutely delicious, very sweet, very desserty. And the price is fantastic. Honestly, might like these bottles even better than 1920. Next store pick on my list is a Bull Run American whiskey. This is a 13-year-old American whiskey finished 5 months in Pinot Noir barrels. A lot of store picks like this, you can find them finished in various things. Wine, beer, all sorts of things, cognac. When you finish the whiskey, it changes it into an entirely different direction. It's something totally different. You can get one in Pinot versus Cabernet, totally different. I think it's another fun thing to kind of hunt for, the different finishes, stuff like that. I really enjoy doing that. Plus, I'm a sucker for wine finished whiskey. It brings extra sweetness to it that I absolutely love. Plus, these Bull Runs are incredible value, okay? Really good priced. You're getting a nice age stated on there. Plus, you're getting some wild finishing, so win, win, win. All right, moving on to what might be one of my favorite picks. ever, is an Obtainium Light whiskey store pick. This one's called Christmas, picked by the guys over at Storytime Distillery. Go ahead and check them out, link in the description. This is a 16-year-old light whiskey finished in Toppling Goliath KBBS barrels. You don't know what that is? It's a fancy beer, and it changes this thing into something absolutely crazy. Going back to the whole finished whiskey thing, it's totally unique. It's unlike anything you've tried, and I think these people who are experimenting with these different finishes, they're creating something that you have never tried before, and I think that's what's so awesome about it. That's what makes it so fun. You're trying something new, and it just so happens to be absolutely incredible. You don't have to be a beer drinker to enjoy something finished in a beer barrel. It just takes the whiskey and sends it off into some unknown land, throws it back at you, and you're gonna love it. And there's not a whole lot of bottles of stuff like this that go around, so when you are able to get these unique finishes, these unique store picks, you kind of are getting something, you know, rare, hard to get, something totally unique. All right, guys, final bottle on my 2021 whiskey list. This is gonna go to Penelope Bourbon. This is the Toasted Series Barrel Strength. These store picks are incredible. Absolutely love them. Again, it's totally different. They're using different char levels, different toast levels. So from store to store you go to, they can vary wildly. I think that's what makes it so fun. I think that's what makes it so interesting, is you're taking something that's already good and you're letting these stores modify it in just subtle ways that have a very large impact on the whiskey. They're making it unique to them. It's fun. So in a sense, you might not get another one that tastes like that. You go to a different store, they'll have a different version. The next time your store gets one in, could be totally different. I know a lot of stores are doing this, so definitely be on the lookout. Try different ones, try different char levels, try different toast levels. It just creates endless possibilities for you, so get out there, try them. There we have it. That was 10 bottles that I got during 2021. Top of my list bottles I have really been enjoying this past year. Let me know down below what your favorite bottles from 2021 were. If you've tried any of these, let me know. Let me know what you think of these if they make it into your list. Again, thank all of you for the support over 2021. And until next time, guys, I'm Trev Wilson. I'll see you in 2022.